Personally, I've spent more time than I'd care to admit on the everything's political online insane asylum known as Reddit. And to say that I have come across a sub or two that's concerning would be a bit of an understatement. But I finally have come across a sub that absolutely takes the cake on this one. And this sub is no other than r/gangstalking. So to start out, you might be asking yourself, what exactly is gangstalking? Well, gangstalking is when an individual believes that a group of other individuals, of varying origin, are secretly plotting against them and attempting to mess with them and stalking them for, well, reasons. And in this situation, any sane person would be like, hey man, life isn't out to get you, you know. This kind of sounds like paranoid psychosis or schizophrenia to me. I'd recommend you speak with a healthcare professional. So surely the comments are saying this, right? Nope, they're just playing into their paranoid delusion and supporting it. Now, schizophrenia is rare, but gangstalking is common, with it happening to over 5 million people worldwide. So before we get too into this, let's go over some common terms here. First off, TI stands for targeted individual, or the person being gangstalked. Street theater is when the gangstalkers who are targeting the targeted individual do things in public to go get a rise out of them. You know, like in The Truman Show.
Lady? Flowers!
DEW stands for direct energy weapon, and to be fair, these are real. They're specialized weapons that are mainly used to disable things like electronics or explosives or aircrafts, using things like lasers or microwaves. You know, like an EMP. But according to these Redditors, these DEWs are mainly being used for V2K, or voice-to-skull technology, to go transmit messages into their brain. Yes, you heard that right. These Redditors are hearing voices in their head, and they're convinced that it's the result of the gangstalkers. Now, can you report these gangstalkers to the police? Nope! They're in cahoots with the gangstalkers, or they might even be the gangstalkers themselves, just like in Fight Club.
Out of your minds, you're police officers!
And one of the mods on the sub actually says that you need to be careful doing this because you might get sent to the psych ward. Who would have thought? This person started experiencing strange phenomenon after they took an unknown pill. So here's a fun little factoid. Drugs, psychedelics in particular, don't cause mental illness, but what they can do is they can induce it in people who have underlying mental conditions that are predisposed to it. This person insists that the gangstalkers keep on following them, despite them already moving multiple times and draining their finances. It also appears that we are now incorporating other conspiracy theories, such as birds aren't real. Yes, this theory is real, unlike the birds, and so is this post. And this one is my favorite. The gangstalkers are trying to make me gay. So who is doing this gangstalking, you might ask? It's the government! Actually, no, it's the communists! It's people trying to pay off debt and get their records expunged. Or we can always just blame the Mexicans. And this is all happening because... reasons. And then this person decided to get on antipsychotics and it all actually stopped. Who would have thought? Alright, so I'm gonna hurt some feelings here, but... you aren't that important. You aren't a celebrity. People don't care this much about you. They're selfish and they just care about themselves. Now if the NSA could just mail me that check, that'd be great.